Hey guys, Craig here again with the Valustra Research Alliance. Thank you for tuning in to another video in this Getting Started series. We're on video number 5 now. We've really started to try to dive into our fictitious organization, Bakers Unlimited Limited. And in the last video, we introduced the idea of actually using a feature in Valustra called the Ask Valustra AI bot that can help us with questions we have about our organizational structure. So we're going to continue doing a little bit more of that today and actually start to change the structure a little bit and see what that does to our value stream reference architecture. See what happens when we maybe change a team out and move people around perhaps, and see what that might mean in terms of our flow in our organization when we do that. So let's dive back into the app. We're back in the Valustra app here, back at the home screen. And you can see we've got our Bakers Unlimited here again. So we're going to click on this and dive right in. And you remember last time we actually went through the process of actually setting up the correct interaction pattern for each of the team types. And we've got those interaction patterns set as the predominant style for those teams. Remember again that just because it's the predominant style doesn't mean it has to be the style that they're going to use. That's something we can play around with in Valustra. But right now we've got them set to their patterns. So we've got facilitation for the enabling teams, collaboration for the complicated subsystem teams, and as a service for the platform teams. So let's kind of look at our organization. I'm really interested in quality assurance in this organization. One of the things that DORA research taught us was that we really want the people on the ground that are writing code and creating system to be responsible for QA. When developers write tests and are responsible for that, that's correlated with high-performing teams. And at the moment, we've got this team in Bakers Unlimited that's kind of doing quality assurance as a service. What does that kind of mean? Well, that means that these other teams that perhaps need tests writing and need to test the things that they're creating, are they throwing that over the wall to the QA team so the QA team can do that? Maybe that's going to work for them, but maybe it doesn't. And I'm interested as to why QA is really a platform team. So let's start asking Valustra those questions about this organization with respect to QA. So again, I'm going to open up the chat bot here, and I've moved to the other side of the screen, as you can see this time, because I recognized in the last video you couldn't really see what was being punched into the chat window. But I'm over here now, so that helps. Or I'm over here now, perhaps. I don't know. But I'm going to use the speak to the computer option by using WinH on my Windows machine. Please tell me more about the quality assurance team, period. It's currently set as a platform team using the as a service style for interaction, period. What might happen if we change quality assurance to be enabling somehow? Question mark. How could we do that? I'm just going to modify what was input here because I said question mark and it didn't put that in. I just don't want it to be confused about that. And again, I'm speaking through the microphone to put my questions in, but you can type these in if you want to. I just find it easier to speak rather than type. But let's see what Valustra has to say. And I have no idea what it's going to respond with here. So it's going to be interesting. So let's see what it says. So, long answer. Thank you, Valustra. The quality assurance team is currently structured as a platform team using an as-a-service interaction mode, which aligns with its current type. Its predicted fine values indicate a moderate flow and low resilience. This structure predicts that the team expands significant energy that could be impacting its ability to handle technical debt or absorb new demands effectively. The team currently depends on cybersecurity. If you were to restructure the organisation of quality assurance to become an enabling team, the change would primarily revolve around its dependency structure and interaction model. How to change the quality assurance team to enabling team. To shift quality assurance from a platform team to an enabling team, you must restructure its dependencies. An enabling team typically has very few or no dependencies it consumes from, and its role is to temporarily assist other teams to overcome specific impediments. Transferring knowledge and skills. Reduce consumed dependencies. Evaluate if quality assurance truly needs to depend on cybersecurity. An enabling team is generally self-sufficient in its core capabilities or acquires what it needs through temporary calibration, rather than ongoing consumption from other teams. If its dependency on cybersecurity is for its own operational needs, consider how to integrate those capabilities or reduce the need for that dependency. Shift interaction mode to facilitation. The interaction mode for enabling teams should be facilitation. This means quality assurance would proactively engage with other teams, such as storefront development or bakery development, not by providing a service, but by coaching, mentoring, and helping them embed quality practices, tools, and expertise directly into their workflows. This is a temporary knowledge transfer focused engagement rather than a continuous service provision. What might happen if quality assurance becomes an enabling team with appropriate restructuring? If successful, changing quality assurance to an enabling team with facilitation, interaction mode, and a suitable dependency structure could lead to the following predicted changes in its 5 values. Okay. The predicted flow for quality assurance itself might decrease. Enabling teams' primary goal is to increase the flow of other teams, not necessarily their own. Their value is measured by the improvements they drive in stream-aligned teams. Impediments. Its own predicted impediments might increase initially as it tackles complex cross-team quality challenges. However, if successful in transferring knowledge, it reduces the need for other teams to depend on it, ultimately increasing overall organizational flow. Effort. With a focus on coaching and temporary engagements rather than continuous service delivery, the predicted cognitive load effort for the quality assurance team could decrease as they empower other teams to handle more quality tasks independently. Resilience. A lower cognitive load and more focused temporary engagement model could predict higher resilience, allowing the team to sustain its enabling activities more effectively. To make this change effective, focus on altering the dependencies of other teams on quality assurance from a continuous consumption model to a temporary knowledge sharing model. This means other teams would no longer see QA as a service to consume, but an expert resource to learn from. So, how can we use that advice to modify our team? I think what I want to do is shift from having a quality assurance team to having an enabling function that's really all about having software development engineers in test, SDETs, helping and facilitating other teams to do the testing for themselves. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce a new team into my organization, and I'm going to call it the SDET team. So I'm going to add this new team and call it SDET team. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the SDET team support everybody else. So let's make it support DevOps engineering. Let's make it support storefront development, and keep going with this and add all of them in as we go. I'm not going to add quality assurance because I'm going to remove that team in a moment. Database team, the infrastructure team, and the product catalog dev team. So I've created this new SDET team that's supporting everybody else, and I'm going to set its collaboration mode to facilitation. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the quality assurance team. Now, in real life, what would this mean? This really means that we're changing the QA team to be a different team. Maybe we're actually moving some of the people from the quality assurance team actually out into the other teams to do testing. So we're embedding these engineers into the tester team if we've got enough people in the QA team. If not, if the QA team's already a small team, then what we're really just doing is kind of changing the way they interact with all of the other teams. And we're kind of telling them, you need to facilitate now. Stop doing this as a service. Stop doing the work for other teams. Don't write the tests for them, but instead teach them how to do that. Teach people to fish. So I'm going to delete the quality assurance team completely. I can do that easily in Valustra just by using the delete team item. It'll give me a question just to be sure. Do you really want to do that? So I say yes, delete. And what we notice as soon as we do that, the quality assurance team is now gone completely in our structure. There's no reference to it in the supporting network, and the QA team is now gone. So let's ask Valustra about what I just did to see if it has any insight. Let's do this. Okay, I've added a brand new team called the SDET team, which I've made facilitating in its interaction mode, period. This new team supports all of the other teams, period. But I have removed the quality assurance team completely. It no longer exists in our organization, period. What has that done to predicted flow in my organization? Question mark. Let's see what Valustra says. Oh, well, notice I didn't correct the text that I entered here. I said, it thought I said SDET team. But it's going to, because the AI is kind of pretty good at recognizing spelling mistakes and errors that I enter that way, it's going to probably give me some decent answers even without correcting that. So it says, that is a significant change in your organization structure. You've introduced the new SDET team and completely removed the quality assurance team. To accurately assess whether these changes have done to the predicted flow across your organization, I need to rerun the fine analysis with the updated topology. The current metrics affect the previous structure. Would you like me to rerun the fine analysis so I can provide you with the updated predicted flow values? Yes, please. So what Valustra is doing now is it's rerunning the analysis. It's taking the brand new graph that we've now created and running the fine analysis to get new values for that graph. And it's going to give us some answers here. It says, that is a significant restructure for Bakers Unlimited, removing the quality assurance team and introducing the new SDET team as a dependency for many others. Based on the updated topology, the predicted average flow across your organization has slightly increased. Here's a summary of the network-wide changes. Total teams decreased from 9 to 8. Average flow increased from approximately 1.929 to 1.92952. Average dependencies per team increased approximately 2.78 to 3.5, and platform teams decreased from 2 to 1 due to the removal of the quality assurance team. The overall predicted flow shows a minor improvement with these changes. While the average number of dependencies per team has increased, the specific restructuring, particularly removal of the quality assurance team, is a distinct node, and the introduction of the SDET team as a shared dependency has led to this slight upward shift in predicted organizational flow. So let's actually look at the team topology as well, because there's a little hint there that the team topology has actually changed. We go to the diagram and we can see, yes, indeed, it has changed. We can see we now have this SDET team that is using the facilitation mode, but our cybersecurity team, which was previously an enabling team, has become a platform team. And in fact, the infrastructure team has become a platform team as well. And notice that they're not using the correct interaction mode. If they're going to be platform teams, they probably should be using as a service. Let's ask Valustra about that now. The cybersecurity team and the infrastructure team have changed to being platform teams, period. What interaction mode should they use? Use. Not news, question mark. Clearly it's having problems understanding my English accent, but that's okay. Let's get some advice from Valustra about what interaction mode they should use. So he says, that's a key update for the Structured Bakers Unlimited. The cybersecurity team and the infrastructure team now have been retyped as platform teams. For platform teams, the recommended interaction mode is as a service. This mode aligns with their new role, providing capabilities to other teams through well-defined interface and self-service options. Aligning their interaction mode to as a service is predicted to improve their flow and reduce impediments, as the current analysis already shows positive shifts in their find values. Following this type change, this is a good step towards clarifying their role and optimizing their interactions while consuming teams. Okay, let's make that change then. Let's change cybersecurity to now be as a service. And let's change, it was the infrastructure team. Now cybersecurity's changed already. Infrastructure team to be as a service as well. Infrastructure as a service. Okay, let's see. Yep, we got both of those there. So let's ask Valustra. I've changed both of those teams to use the as a service interaction mode. Period. What impact has that had? Question mark. I was just thinking about it. Let's come back with an answer. Here we go. Switching the cybersecurity and infrastructure teams to as a service interaction mode has had a notable impact on their predicted find values, particularly aligning with their platform team type. For both teams, the predicted flow has increased, which is a positive outcome, suggesting smoother delivery of their services. However, this change also predicts an increase in their needs and effort, indicating greater structural demand and cognitive load on these teams in their new configuration. A significant decrease in resilience is also predicted for both, meaning they are structurally more susceptible to disruptions. Their predicted impediments for both teams remain stable. Here's a summary of the predicted changes for each team. And so you can see there's the way that's working. We've got a slight increase in effort, and we've got a slight increase in needs. But we actually have an improvement of flow for those needs as well. So it's generally an overall a good change for our team. So we're seeing that, just by working with Valustra and introducing a new team and changing how the support network is set and thinking about those interaction modes that result as a result of those changes, and then talking to the Valustra AI about what the impact is, we can get to start to reason about these changes. And the good news is, we can make these changes in Valustra before we actually make them in the real world. So we've got some predictions that Valustra is giving us that's helping us to understand how the changes we make to our team structure and organization and how we reason about and think about the interactions is going to improve our flow. Okay, in the next video, we'll start looking at how AI and the use of AI by teams is impacting things. That's important for everybody today. Of course, the teams that we're working with today are starting to use AI to help with their work in writing code or understanding how to do tests, or lots of other capabilities that AI is being used for. But how is that use of AI really impacting our team topologies and impacting how flow happens in our teams? We'll look at that next time. So thanks again for tuning into this video. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.